Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to take a look into Enna Kros kit. Now that we have the translations done by Leobar from Main Course, a shout out to him for the translations provided for this video. We're going to take a look at her kit. We're going to focus on a couple things that I noticed when I was reading over the translations and kind of go over whether or not it is actually worth pulling for her kit or whether it is actually needed for where we are at on the JP side. Basically, I'm just going to give you guys my opinion on it and how I feel about her at this moment in JP Opera Omnia. We also got the info or the translations for Reno's Crystal level 90 and his rework, so we're going to take a look at that as well in this video. So as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. So let's go ahead and take a look into Enna Kros kit. First thing is going to be in her skill 1. She actually does two things with her skill 1 aside from her attack. So she inflicts a debuff and she also grants herself a buff. Now the buff, kinda sorta the creator, gives her a 40% initial brave, max brave, and attacker, and she also enchants herself with holy and dark, which is pretty cool. Now, the thing about her, which is something that we have not seen before in a character, is that she rounds up the last 3 digits of brave damage dealt, which is able to exceed the max brave damage cap with rounding up effect. So that's something that we have not seen before in any character. So this is a first for a character in general. So to see a character being able to have this type of ability is different. So I don't know how we are going to be seeing this for future characters in the future, but to have a character round up the last 3 digits of the brave damage dealt is it's interesting and it's very different. She also gets a 20% stolen max brave overflow up and a 20% HP damage dealt up, and after her own turn she has a 20% chance to fill her own recast gauge to max, which is different. So she has a little bit of RNG in her kit, even though you know, from what you guys have told me in the comments in some of the previous videos from her, you guys have told me that she is like the creator or like the god or something like that in World of Final Fantasy. I've not played the game before, so I'm not entirely sure. So it's kind of, you would think that she would get that in an instant, but I mean, like, hey, I mean, I don't know. You guys know more about this than I do. But see, the only thing about that is that, like, with her kit and how that worked, I can kind of see why they decided to play around with a little bit of RNG with that, because of how her kit works out. And we'll get into it once we talk about her EX and her LD ability, because her special effect kind of relates to this whole 20% chance of her being able to max out on her recast gauge. Now the debuff, maybe Divine Punishment, actually impels the enemy with the Holy Dark resist down. So basically she will be doing weakness damage to the enemy the entire time, as long as you have the debuff and the buff from her skill 1. And this debuff also has a 20% defense down. Now her skill 2 summons the Omega God. Now this Omega God, the way that this works is that the Omega God's max HP, initial brave, and max brave will be 500% of Enna Kros' attack, max brave damage cap, max obtainable brave, and max HP damage dealt, which will be 200% of Enna Kros. And this also gets affected by effects that Enna Kros takes in as well, which means that if there are any other support characters that are alongside with her, like take example Ramza, who would help out in increasing the, let's say, her max brave cap up or her HP damage up, that would actually count towards the 200%. So you would actually get way more higher numbers for this Omega God whenever it is summoned onto the field. So it would actually be doing much more damage. So support characters would actually benefit Crow whenever you are trying to put team comps together and you are trying to maximize the amount of damage that you are trying to get out of her. So that is actually a plus. So it's not technically, it's not always going to be a set amount of brave damage or HP damage. There is a way that you're able to increase it just a little bit more from what you already have it, or from what it would normally be set as with what Enna Kros numbers would technically be. So, which is pretty good. So at least we know that it's not a set number, but you actually have an ability to increase it. Her C65, the party for 6 action gets a 60% initial brave up, a 20% max brave up, and a 20% stolen max brave overflow up. And to herself, she gets a 30% max brave damage cap up, or she can do up to 12,998. Now, if we keep on going, her call ability, which is the kind of sort of holy, which I believe is her skill 1, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's a skill 1. Her call ability, the call effects for the party, which lasts for 3 actions. The party gets a Holy Dark Enchant, a 20% attack up, and it also rounds up the last 3 digits of the brave damage dealt, which is able to exceed the max brave damage cap up with the rounding with the rounding up effect. So that's one thing to note with that as well. One thing to note as with that, talking about the enchant Holy Dark, is that in the translations it seems, she actually does not enchant the party. So this is all just focused on Enna Kros herself. So she is not really providing anything to the party that we know of with her skill 1, with her enchantment. So it's as of right now, it's only just focused on herself. Now, if you move on to her EX ability, her recast speed is very slow. She grants 2 stacks of the overhead Manifest Omega God special effect to herself, and then she summons the Omega God, and then she'll do her attack. She does have high action delay, and she also erases the target's next turn, which is actually a nice plus. Now, the Omega God's max HP initial brave and max brave is still the same thing. It'll be based off of 500% of Enna Kros attacks, max brave, the so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into it. The special effect, which is the overhead, it has a max stacks of 6. Now, whenever it is summoned, it will be summoned with brave at max brave, and then each time it acts, it will decrease by 1 stacks, and when it reaches 0 stacks, it gets dispelled. And the only way to summon it again is if you use her EX ability or you use her LD ability, which we'll get into here in just a bit. If you're curious to know about her sphere is weak base attack up short, which is an A sphere, and what it does is whenever you deal weakness damage, it increases your own initial brave and attack by 10% for 3 actions. Now, her LD ability, which equips her the LD ability called Star Crush Slash. It gives her a max usage of 3. It grants her 2 stacks of the Manifest Omega God special effect to herself, and then it then summons the Omega God, and then it does this whole thing. Now, the difference between the LD ability, aside from summoning the Omega God and it does its attack, so on and so forth, is that it actually grants her a buff called the Kinda Sorta the Creator. Now, while Kinda Sorta the Creator is active, it turns her Brave Attack into Brave Attack plus, which is a 4-hit magic Brave Attack, and then her HP Attack turns into HP Attack plus, which is a 3-hit magic Brave plus an HP Attack with 120% stolen brave, max brave overflow. Now, the caller for her LD ability. Now, this one actually just focuses on the caller itself and not for the party. So, for 3 action, the caller does get a Holy Dark Enchant, a 40% attack up, a 20% stolen max brave overflow limit up, and a 20% HP damage dealt up, and after its own turn, it does have a 20% chance to fill its own recast gauge to max, excluding some actions, and only occurs once per turn. So not a bad call ability at all. Now let's go ahead and switch over to, actually no, before we switch over to Reno, let me give you guys my initial thoughts on Enna Kros. So I think it's pretty neat that whenever you do summon the Omega God, you do have excuse me, you do start off with a strong amount of Brave. You do start off with a you do start off with a huge amount of Brave, and then it seems like whenever it does its attacks over and over, it continues on with a set amount of Brave per attack, and it seems like it does not consume it does not consume the amount of Brave that Enna has, which is a plus. So that basically means that aside from being able to increase her max Brave cap, you can also make it so that before she summons this god, the Omega God, you want to make sure that you keep her batteried up, so that way you can try to get her to do the maximum potential, the maximum available damage that you can with her, which is a nice plus. The other good thing is that most of her attacks, it seems like it is not all of her attacks, excuse me, but like a few of her, she has like a variety of attacks, being that some of them are single target, some of them are AoE, which is a good thing. It's nice to have, it is a good thing to have a variety, but she is very much a selfish DPS character. 1000% she is. She's not providing anything to the party. I mean, she is just solely there to do damage. I guess that's why she is, according to you guys, from what I've read in the comments, she is the god of all gods. Not the god of all gods, but like she is the god. Like she is the creator, as you guys have mentioned to me in the comments. So I mean, like overall, like if basically in a way, like if you are needing like a magic DPS character, like she is, she is pretty solid. The only thing about her is that if you are needing to increase your stacks, is that you have to either use her LD ability or her EX ability over and over to be able to summon the Omega God. That's the only little bit of an issue that I do have. There is, of course, ways that you can get around that with her EX ability. You know, you do have characters where you can instantly recharge your EX ability and you're good to go. With her LD ability, though, that's kind of that's a little bit of a different issue, because like as of right now, we don't have anything that is able to like give like a free LD ability use, or a way to be able like a free ability use, LD ability use. So so you kind of limited on that. But like when it comes to her EX ability, there is ways to get around that. But like to try to extend the longevity of that, it kind of gets in the way. But if she is the only DPS character on your team, and if it's not going to be too much of a hindrance, then it's not going to be too much of an issue. But like overall, though, I mean, she from what I can tell, she does seem like a pretty solid character. But like I said, like good battery for her would be a pretty solid plus. But like I said, the other good thing is like having somebody like Gromza, for example, to be able to increase her max break cap up would be a pretty solid option for her as well. But no, like I said, overall she is a pretty solid option for a magical DPS character in a variety of ways. She is pretty good. But now let's go ahead and switch over to Reno, and let's see what he got with his kit. So with Reno, with his crystal level 90, so he did get a rework. So with his Electropod Extend, now he has a total usage of 12, and then whenever you use it, it now turns into a 6-hit Thunder AoE, melee Brave, plus a single target HP attack, plus a 6-hit Thunder single target melee Brave, plus a single target HP attack. It did get an increase in Brave potency. It got an increase in Stolen Max Brave overflow limit by 30%. And then with his skill 2 Electric Dance Extend, it also got additional uses, now being a total of 9. And then whenever you do use his Electric Dance, it now turns into a 6-hit Thunder Melee Brave plus an HP attack with 3 HP dumps in total, an increase in Brave potency by a tremendous amount. And then with his LD extension, whenever you use Pyramid, it now turns into a 5-hit Thunder AoE Melee Brave plus an AoE HP attack with 4 HP dumps now. It did get an increase in Brave potency by a tremendous amount, and it erases 3 additional buffs. Originally it was 1, but now it erases 3 additional buffs, and now it erases 4 in total, which is pretty solid actually. Very, very nice. I like that. It also adds the following effects to the Turk Pride, which gives the party a 20% HP damage delta, which is very nice. Now for his Crystal Level 90 Awakening, for his EX extension, whenever you have his EX passive equipped, to himself he gets a 60% Brave damage delta up and a 30% Stolen Max Brave overflow up. While his EX extension is equipped, when using Turk Light, it now turns into a 6-hit Thunder AoE Melee Brave plus an AoE HP attack with 3 HP dumps. It got an increase in Brave potency by a tremendous amount. And then with his C65 Debuff Act Long / Extend 2, whenever you use it, it got an increase in total Brave hits by 2, so now it'll be 4. When attacking debuff targets, it deals weakness damage. And it adds the following self effects, which he now has a 15% Stolen Max Brave overflow up and a 30% Max Brave damage cap up. Oh, now he can do up to 12,998, and his C65 got extended by 3 action, now being a total of 6. So not too shabby for what Reno got. So now I can't wait to what Rude will get in the future whenever he gets his Crystal Level 90. So yeah, that's pretty much what Reno got. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comment section below. I'm curious to know what you guys think about Enna Kros and Reno in the comments. I'm actually super curious to know what you guys think about both of these two characters, especially Enna Kros. I really want to know what you guys think about her. I think she's a pretty solid magical DPS. Again, I know she's not providing anything to the party. I know that's what a lot of people love to see, is to provide, well, I can't say a lot of people, but like some people like to see is provide those, at least something to the party. But like, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a like a selfish DPS character. I mean, we do have plenty of those in our roster of characters in Opera Omnia. But like I said, I am curious to know what you guys think in the comment section below. But if you guys did enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video.